So I'm going to ask everyone to imagine that you could push a button, and by pushing that button, you're helping yourself be free. You're helping to free yourself and your brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles and relatives. And by pushing that button, you're helping the next generation have a much better chance of having equality. By pushing that button, you are increasing the chances of ending white supremacy. By pushing that button, you're doing something to end the global terrorism that is white supremacy. You could do so much by just pushing this one button. Imagine that to be true. You can do that. But it's not by pushing a button. You can do that by not voting in this election. You can do that by sending these white supremacist Democrats a message that we're done with them. Let's fire them. If you had a job and you were not doing anything to keep that job, you're not showing your boss that you have any respect for them, any regards for their life, you wouldn't have that job anymore. They're doing worse than calling in sick every day. They're telling you we have a total disregard for your life. Voting for them is us telling them we too have a total disregard for our lives. We're telling them over 600 years of oppression isn't enough for us. We want more. We don't have to keep telling them that. We don't have to keep living this lie that we have freedom in this country. We can stand up and tell them that you're not doing anything to benefit us. Tell them that you need us to be free. Because as long as we are being oppressed, as long as we live in a country that has been ran by white supremacy, a country where cops are allowed to shoot and kill us, and your only ideal of rectifying this is to give them more money. Let's tell them that that's not working for us anymore. Let's tell them that they need to start working for our vote. Right now, Hillary Clinton feels like the only people she has to answer to is other white people. And she's right. Based on the history of us voting, I mean, she's right. We're giving our vote away to the Democratic Party all the time. We've been doing it since we were allowed to vote. Our ancestors died for us to have that right to vote. We need to show our ancestors that we are taking this right and we respect it, and we're taking it in regard, and we're going to use it to benefit our children, to make sure they live in an America that is free to them. That we're not disregarding the fact that they gave their lives for us. It's been so long that we've been allowed to vote, and not one time has we stopped and said, we want you to give us something. If the only people that the Democratic Party has to answer to is other white supremacists, we're not going to get anywhere. And that's what they feel like. That's what they are expressing. They're expressing that we only answer to white supremacy. We don't answer to you. Your life does not matter. We need to stop sending them that message. Let's push that button. That button is just not voting. Don't be so scared to do something, to stand up for yourselves. Because they're depending on you to do that. They're depending on Black people to be scared, to fear them. They're depending on us to have a total disregard for ourselves, for our livelihood, for our brothers and sisters. And if we continue to show them that they're right, that we don't have that we totally disregard our own lives, that we don't feel like we deserve equal treatment, then that's what we're going to continuously get. Politicians that have total disregard for our lives, that don't care anything about us, that are entitled to our vote, and that just dismiss us. Because right now, if you watch this debate, we are being completely dismissed. Completely ignored. The one thing that Hillary Clinton had to address was on cop brutality and police gunning down innocent Black people. That's the one thing she was asked to address based on race. And her answer is to give these police officers more money. Stop giving her your vote. Tell her, send her a message. Send the whole Democratic Party a message. And that message is, we're done. That message is, you need to come to us with a plan that's going to help us. That's going to help end white supremacy. And until you do that, Democratic Party, you cannot count on our vote. You will not get our vote. And I know you're wondering, like, how is not voting going to work? Like, isn't that just going to give Donald Trump more chances of winning, of being the next president? Maybe. It might. He might become president anyway. You have a 50% chance that he's going to be the next president, irregardless to whether you vote or not. But you know what? It will change. It will change the ideal of the Democratic Party that they don't need to answer to us. It will change that. Most likely, we're going to do 4 years with Donald Trump anyway. Like, it's ridiculous, and it makes me nauseous to even think about it. But look how far he's got on hate. On promises of reinstating the stop and frisk laws, but only in urban areas, because he needs to get the guns off the street. Even though statistics show that majority of guns, at least 80% of them, are owned by white men. We're already going to have to deal with that. Let's just say 50% chance we're going to deal with that anyway. Let me tell you why it's worth it. Because that's 4 years. Let's send the Democratic Party a message that says, we will deal with the chance of having Trump for 4 years we're willing to risk that to gain our freedom for the next 200-300 years, to end white supremacy, to end this global terrorism. We are willing to risk 4 years of Donald Trump. We survived 8 of Bush, so I mean, I think we can survive 4 of him. Because if we decide not to vote in this election, I assure you, 4 years from now, when Hillary Clinton runs again, and if it's not her, it'll be another white supremacist Democrat. I assure you, that person will know that they have to come to us with something. That they have to answer to us. That they have to prove to us that they have our interests in mind, that to prove to us that they're going to do something to help us gain our freedom. Make no mistake that they will understand why we're not voting. We don't even have to tell them. They will realize it. If one thing these white supremacists are, they're not stupid. They're not. They get it. It's us that we're not getting it. Something in our brain isn't clicking. We're feeling like we can just do the same thing over and over and over and over and over and get a different result. That's called insanity. I'm not insane anymore. If you're still feeling insane, then I don't know, get some medication to help you. But you gotta wake up sometime. At some point, we need to wake up. We need to band together. We need to show them that we are one. That we are done with white supremacy. We're ready to be free. We need to tell them, if you want our vote, you need to help us be free. You need to stop paying the cops to kill us. You know, the Republicans and the Democrats and other Congress, they're always talking about ISIS and terrorism. Well, white supremacy is global terrorism. And if you think it's not, do some research. Try to understand what terrorism means. Because white supremacy has been terrorizing us for the last over 600 years. Since they stepped foot on Africa, they've been terrorizing us. They've been our terrorists. They are global terrorists. This is pretty simple. This is like, I can't think of anything easier for us to do to send that strong of a message than to just not vote. And for you that think it's a big deal and you had your mindset on voting, think about the next generation. Think about what we want to leave them. Because I want to leave my child true freedom. That's what I want to leave him. I want to know that he's not going to be the next person shot in the street for being black. That's what I want to know. That's what I want to leave the next generation. Let's start realizing that this is our fight, that this is our time. Just don't vote. Pretty simple. Tell the Democratic Party, bring us something. Bring something to us.